Hey, good morning, family and friends. It is Julie Hamilton with Life Builders, bringing you simple tips to build a strong and healthy life on. I'm so glad to be back with you after Tuesday's interview. We were out of town and it was great. I was bummed because the connection was bad and it kept breaking up, but I can't wait to put it on YouTube and get it on my podcast so you can hear it in its entirety, because it was a great interview with lots of tips for building culture and changing the conversations that are happening. And so anyway, I'm just so excited. And good morning. I love you guys. I hope you're having a great week. We are still battling poison oak at our house, believe it or not. So I'm glad you're not here. If you just started itching when I said the words poison oak like I did, I wanted to remind you, you can't get it through digital airwaves. So you're going to be fine. I'm sorry to make you itch. But let's talk, because there is a topic I wanted to talk about today. That is this: stop waiting for permission to do what's in your heart. Stop talking to all your friends. Stop asking them for their feedback, waiting to find out what they're going to say about what you have, what you're dreaming about. You don't have to wait for permission. Now, there is wisdom in a multitude of counselors, and we know that. So it would be good to talk to a coach or a mentor or something like that about an idea that you have. But overall, our peers are not going to be our target market. And so we need to stop talking about it and start doing it. I'm so impressed with my friend Abby, who has been saying, I want to go on a missions trip. I want to go on a missions trip. And she just texted us yesterday that she applied to go on a missions trip. How awesome is that? And you just have to start somewhere. So that's my encouragement to you today. It's get up, show up, start. Oh, Abby's on here. Get up, show up, and start. That's all we need to do. I was reading last night about this experiment about a fish tank. And so they put all these big fish in it, and then they put the little minnows. They were feeding them the little minnows, and that's what the fish eat. They're feeding them little minnows, and they were eating them. And then what they did is they put this glass barrier right down the middle of the tank, and they would release the minnows on the other side of the glass barrier. Now, at first, the big fish would be banging into that glass barrier, trying to get it, trying to hit through it. And as time went on, as they began to realize that they couldn't reach it, they started hitting the glass with less fervor. So they started trying less to even get to the food, the opportunity. And then what happened is the scientists lifted that glass thing out, and so that the big fish were free to swim with the minnows, which would have been their food. The minnows are now rubbing up against them, literally next to them, the opportunities. And you know what happened? The big fish starved, because they never got over that limitation that was placed on them, that was in the middle of the tank, that they learned that limitation, and then they thought, there's no way I can get through it. I can't get any food. They literally starved with the food right next to them. And I want to say to you today, some of us have done that. Some of us have taken on big things, and maybe in our younger years, we ran up against walls. We ran up against limitations. We ran up against things that prevented us from getting to where we want to go. And we have taken that as our self-imposed limitations. We have believed that those things are true about ourselves, and the opportunity is swimming right next to us, and we are passing it up. We're passing it up. That is not okay. We're starving for lack of opportunity, and the opportunity is right next to us. Hey, Rhonda, how are you? So listen, here's what we have to do. We have to take it one step at a time. You don't have to have the full vision for wherever you're going right now. You might not even know. Some of you are those type of people where you put together the full vision and you execute and you start doing. Some of us have a goal, and then we don't know how we're going to get there, but we just feel the next step in our hearts. So I encourage you, it's all going to be baby steps. All you have to do is start somewhere. So every week, I want you guys to be putting an action step in place to go after your dreams. Maybe your action step is just researching information about what you want to do. For instance, with Abby wanting to go on the missions trip, first she needed to find out, who do I talk to about missions? How do I find out what missions are available? She doesn't need to know exactly which ones she's going on. She just needs to know Where can I find out more information? Starting a podcast. You don't need to know how to start a podcast when you begin the process. You need to know how to Google and say, how do I start a podcast? You need to send that email to reach out to somebody. If you're going to write a blog, write one blog post. You're not going to start off with 1 million blog posts, okay? So that's what we need to do. If you need to go on Facebook Live and share your message with the world, then you start off by finding out, how do I do Facebook Live? And you maybe warm up to it. Maybe you begin like, oh, okay, maybe I'll give it a try and show my kid doing something. So there's so many things you could do. I just want to encourage you to take it one step at a time, baby steps. You don't have to have the entire vision laid out. It's like for me, I want to reach 1 million people in a decade. You guys know that. But somebody would ask me, how are you going to do that? I don't know. I'm just doing whatever next step I feel in my heart is time to take. And you don't have to have it planned out to get started. Just start. Just show up and just start. And stop waiting for permission for somebody to say that, yes, that's a good idea, or yes, that's going to fly, or yes, you can do that. Guess what? You can do it. If you need permission, I'm giving you permission right now. You can do it. You can do anything that you put your heart and your mind to, and I totally believe that, and I believe in you. And all we have to do is break it down into the little steps to eat the elephant one bite at a time, and before you know it, you've eaten the whole elephant, right? So before we go, I wanted to leave you with one of my very favorite quotes. I know today hasn't been it's just been a chat, but here's one of my very favorite quotes today, and I hope that it will encourage you. Here's what it says. It is not the critic who counts, nor the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. So he's saying, forget the armchair quarterbacks. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, and he strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who actually does strive to do the deeds, the one who knows great enthusiasms, who knows great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. And that is from Teddy Roosevelt. We want to be with those that are daring greatly. I do not want you to get to the end of your life and be like, what if I had taken the missions trip? What if I had launched the business? What if I had started the blog? Don't get to the end of your life and be that person. It's time to dare greatly and be daring and take it one step at a time. It's time to begin. Get in the arena, get the dust and the sweat and the blood on your face, make the errors, learn from them so that you can move on and do what you're doing to the fullest and the best and the brightest that you can be. So I hope that encourages somebody today. I'm actually praying it'll set some people free and get some good stuff started. So I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are amazing. You're an amazing community. I just want you to know that. And you're just so special to me and so special to this community. Have an amazing weekend and go live your big, amazing, beautiful lives. Love you. Bye.